All right, welcome to Spoiler Kings. My name is St. Kramer with Brian the Grizzly, Brandman Brandon, and we are going to break down episode 3 of Secret Invasion. So right off the bat, what do you guys think about it? Was this a better episode, more of the same? What do you think, Brandon?
I liked it more than last week's episode. I think I actually, even though we're still, at what, like the halfway mark with the series, but I do feel like I'm liking it more and more with each episode. It's kind of showing how real and how severe the stakes are. I like that it's giving more layers to the character of Talos. I think this was kind of, dare I say, his episode more than Fury's, or at least kind of like an even balance between the two, which I thought was
No, we
pretty
got a lot
cool.
about Fury
I,
this one
I
too.
really like, yeah, it kind of felt even. I like a lot of the kind of like dialogue and the back and forth scenes, like the scene between Talos and Garvik or Gravik. I'm sorry,
Gravik.
was great. Yeah, Gravik, my bad.
Mhm.
And a lot of the scenes between Fury and Talos are great. I really enjoyed this one. Like I said last week, I like just kind of my favorite thing about this is kind of the smaller and more kind of grounded is such an overused term, but I do think that it feels more centered than a lot of MCU stuff that we've been getting. I like that it's very much kind of in its own little corner, despite the global scope of it, if you really think about it. But it feels a lot more centered at the same time, which is something that's really my probably my favorite thing about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that we're finally starting to understand who the characters are, who the main players really are. Which is like the main point of everything. We're starting to see who Nick Fury really is.
Yeah.
We're starting to see who Gaia really is. We understand who Gravik is. He's this great guy, and then now we're starting to realize he's not. He's still a child. There's little things you start seeing, like when Nick Fury was getting his coffee, he's like, "Give me my black coffee," and then Gravik is like putting like 8,000 sugars in his coffee and stuff like that. I like a little cappuccino on my coffee, cappuccino on my sugar. That's what kid does. It's almost like he never grew up and he still has all this anger inside of him, but it's captivating. He's captivating, so that's why they let him lead. And he was the only one willing to lead other than Talos because Nick Fury was gone all that time. So I mean, they're definitely hammering that Nick Fury is Nick Fury's problem. I also thought it was so cool to start the episode with saying Super Skrulls. We got that right off the bat. Like, this is where we're going to be, no questions. And then little things like when Talos stabbed Gravik's hand and he pulled his hand out and you saw the heat when he healed himself right away. I thought that was important. And then the idea with Gaia with she was sneaking back and forth into that laboratory. And then you seeing her, spoiler alert, get shot, but not die, or don't know if she's dying or not. I think that's what's happening, that she got superpowers. She did what he was doing, what Gravik was doing. Which I thought was pretty awesome too. They just had a lot more major ramifications, and now we have this whole thing with Nick Fury and his wife, and then the way he even questioned her, and then after he questioned her, he still gave her a kiss. I thought that was really weird.
Yeah.
At least we know that Nick Fury knows that she's a Skrull. And then and not to mention that in the episode that phone conversation, though, that was. And we all finally know about who's the Skrull and who's not.
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty cool too. So I mean, all those things happened in this episode. Not to mention the conversation I've been saying that Talos and Nick Fury need to have. That conversation has to happen. Without that, there's nowhere else to go. So I mean, once you had that conversation, that they're starting to talk their stuff out. That there was going to be a lot more going with their story. Yeah, but it's just a lot of things that happened in this episode that we didn't get in before. But I feel like the chess pieces are finally being uncovered, and we're starting to understand who's doing what, and that Nick Fury is a lot smarter than they're letting on.
Yeah. Yeah, so I agree with both of you guys with everything you said. I do like that it's more, like grounded. Like Brandon says, like overplayed, but I like it's more contained. I think is a better word. I like it's about Earth. It's about the problems of Earth rather than this intergalactic kind of thing, because it could lead to that at some point because of the Skrulls are still a big problem, Kree and stuff like that. But right now, it's all about Earth. It's and the problems Earth is having, which is what a thing like this should be like. You know what I mean? Yeah. And what was it? What was his name? Chris Hemsworth, Thor. Came out and said, like, why is Ant-Man just save the universe, galaxy type of movie? It's Ant-Man. It should be smaller, more contained. Which 100% agree. Like, Ant-Man's not a character where you like, oh, multiverse and blah blah blah, and like, here's everything, and you're like, yeah, but it's Ant-Man. Like, what? But this one makes more sense. Why somebody like Nick Fury needs to be in something that's more contained within Earth. You know what I mean? Because like, even I think the show itself talks about stuff like that. Why he felt irrelevant now because everything is so bigger than what he knows and can understand. Yeah. So not even left it, but just what he can understand and be part of. He's like, I can't go and fight Thanos. What the fuck? I can't do that. It's like, what am I gonna do? Secret spy him to death? So this makes more sense why it would work for somebody like Nick Fury, and then it could build up to him needing to learn how to, hey, I gotta step up my game for Saber and all that stuff, which they hinted at. So it's all starting to kind of come together now of like, this is the Earth problem, this is this and stuff like that. So it's like, you can't fix the universe if you can't even fix problems at home. You know what I mean? Like, and not just Earth, but
which is funny. He can't fix problems at home. Man.
Yeah, so it's like it's just like all the way down to like your best friend hates you, your wife, it seems like she's gonna kill you. So it's like, what is going on? So it's like, dude, you are so off his game. But I love that now I think they really make you feel like it's on purpose. You know what I mean? Like no, they didn't do it like, oh, Nick Fury's a dum dum now. It's like, no, it was
he's
like
pushing people's buttons to see how they're reacting.
Yeah.
So he knows where everyone stands, and that's what I'm saying. I feel like the chess pieces are going what side each one of them are going on, and he knows how he's going to react to each one. Yeah,
like the wife part was one. I'm like, he has to know she's a Skrull. If they made it where he didn't know, then that means even like old school Nick Fury was stupid, and that's not true. So I was like, of course he knew, and then I'm glad they put that to bed, really quick, put that to rest really quick. It was like, oh no, he knew. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, the whole thing with the phone, and I was like, does Nick Fury know now? Because he's Nick Fury. He saw the phone. She left it there too. So I was like, did she want to get caught kind of thing? And now it's kind of like.
That might be just something in your mind that you want. You don't want to, when you love someone, you really don't want to, you want them to know if you're doing something stupid.
Yeah. So yeah, it's
what about the fact that remember when he puts the glasses on, he has it has those things like the Iron Man stuff. So like he can look through. It gives all the facts of what's going on. He can probably see through. He knows what information is being texted. He probably knows exactly what happened. Yeah. Because he had the glasses on. He had his glasses on a couple of times in this episode when he sees or maybe he can see someone's heart beating.
I'm sure you got all that stuff.
Like a human lie detector, like you got Meet the Fockers or something like that. Like I could tell your pulse. And it's funny because he asked her about Gravik and then she didn't answer. And he was like, he looked pissed off. And then he looked at the phone and he knew what was going on. And I thought that was pretty interesting. But he still gave her a kiss. Like, dude, what? I guess, if I left my wife for like 7 years to just go up to space, she'd probably be like that way too. So I can't blame her either.
Yeah. Well, then, like, I like how they even explained it all. It was like, I mourned you when I thought you were gone, when you got dusted, which I'm like, oh, that you forget about that. And they constantly remind you a little bit, like, yeah, this happened. And you're like, oh, shit, 5 years is a long time. But then she's like, but then you left. on purpose. You know, I was like, ooh. So it went from being sad to being mad.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, ooh, okay. You know,
So
and,
he didn't come back
it.
and get no nothing. That's messed up.
Yeah, because I know that was like a rumor, like or a theory you thought, and that was kind of on the same board. Was like he would come back down every so often, and he did not. So I was like, ooh, you.
And then you was gonna walk in and be like, hey, what's up?
Hey, honey, I'm home. It was like, you like she didn't throw the coffee pot at you.
I would have felt better about it if she would have shot him. Now I could trust you.
He goes, I'm your husband. No, you ain't. Yeah. So I don't know. It's gonna be curious with that relationship because the way that ended with the phone call. So yeah, I know you already brought it up.
Heard that phone call. We heard that the person on the other end was definitely Rhodey.
Yeah.
Rhodey was definitely on War Machine was on the other end, so that we knew that we heard him, so we know that Rhodey is a Skrull and working with Gravik.
Mm-hmm.
You know, working with Gravik. So that means we said Rhodey could be a Skrull and the president could be a Skrull, and that's how Red Hulk ends up becoming president. So I think that's all going to exactly what we're going to see. That the president was a Skrull too, and he's all part of it, and we'll see how high it gets up in the U.S. government.
Yeah. I mean, if it goes to the president, how much higher can it get to past that? You know, but what if? But what if it's Rhodey playing the long game? You know, where he's like double agent kind of style kind of thing. You think that's a possibility? No,
I think Rhodey's in the warehouse because they start showing all those people still being in the under stasis in the warehouse. I think we're going to see Rhodey in the warehouse when they break in.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the start of Armor Wars. Like the real Rhodey will be out then. And now, because just like you've been trapped. Remember how Iron Man got trapped all those years, and he finally came back. He was like, "Let me get all my tech out of the wrong hands." I feel like Rhodey's gonna be trapped and he's gonna come back and say, "I need to get all my tech for Tony Stark out of all these bad people's hands," and that's what Armor Wars is going to be about. So I feel like that it sets it up perfectly.
Mm-hmm. I can see that. What were you gonna say? You were gonna say something, Brandon, right?
No, I was saying it could definitely be possible. Rhodey could be playing the long game, but when it comes to what's going on, in the context that we've gotten so far and how extensive the Skrull infiltration is being revealed to be, I'm like, he's probably just a Skrull.
Yeah, I mean,
little stuff like you saw the general that they're talking about, the British general for it was a bunch he was still in his uniform, so he was probably snatched at some formal event, right? So he was still in his uniform, and I'm thinking that most of these people are getting snatched in some type of formal event where that other Skrulls are right there, and then they're just stepping right in their formal uniform and taking it over their lives.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm thinking the same thing with Rhodey. Like it was probably at some UN meeting.
Yeah.
That they're taking all these people and just replacing them with it.
Mm-hmm.
Right around the time of Iron Man's dying and all the rest of the Avengers are leaving. That's when they're snatching them.
Yeah. Like when they're most vulnerable.
Exactly.
I could for sure see that. I didn't even think about that, about how that guy was still in his military outfit.
Like totally dressed up. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. So that it has to be like a party, some major event. And that's really interesting. I didn't even think about that. But I don't know. What do you guys think about Talos? Like, I like the argument he had with Nick Fury because it fully explains this Nick Fury in the MCU of how he is, how he became what he was, and what's going on now. But I also like Talos with the I don't know, being so aggressive with Gravik. At the dinner, or not dinner, but the tea party, or whatever the hell it was, like getting coffee or whatever.
It's a parlay.
Yeah. I enjoyed that. But what do you guys think about Talos?
I feel like it's a mirror. I think when Talos and Nick Fury are looking at each other, they're looking at mirrors of each other, and how Talos was always a great general, but as people stop believing in him, because he's getting older, he's getting slower. Other people are starting to get the drop on him. Well, I think Nick Fury, the same thing. He's getting older, he's getting slower. People are starting to get the drop on him, and they're both going to be in that situation where they'll be looking at this machine that creates super Skrulls. And the question is, do they use that machine because they're getting older to make them into something or make them feel younger, make them get into some of those powers that they need to have, if it's just healing. If it's just healing power, so you don't have the pain, maybe you still maintain your quickness or any of those things.
Mm-hmm.
I could see those things happening, or there's 5 lists of powers. So what if he does some of that to make them into the Fury that we get throughout the rest of the time, or the Talos is going to be around for the rest of this time. They can no longer be old. They could just be who they are.
Yeah.
But I feel like they're mirrors of each other. They're both dealing with the same thing. They're being dropped by their people, just by Nick Fury's been dropped by his people. Like getting fired. Like all those things are just like mirror images of each other, and they're both right and they're both wrong. Like, yes, you did help Nick Fury get there, but Nick Fury is more than just what you made him. Nick Fury is still Nick Fury.
Mm-hmm.
He still had Captain Marvel. He still helped him out, helped him there. He still was that dude no matter what. He was already in the agency.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think I see both sides, but I think they're the same. They mirror images of each other, and that's why they like each other.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think, Brandon?
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. I didn't even really stop to think about that. Yeah, they are very much, mirror images of each other for the exact reasons that Brian just said. But I really do like that we're going more in depth with Talos. It was kind of hard to get a read on him in this introduction, Captain Marvel, but now that I think about it, we didn't see too much of Nick Fury other than the one who orchestrated the Avengers. I think the only other time we saw a kind of different side of him was his early days in Captain Marvel. So the way that seeing this side of him years later in the wake of what happened with the with the snap, I still refuse to call it the blood. And just kind of his day to day with his wife, and how he's adjusting. He's no longer the top dog. Coming back to Earth, which is a really interesting side to see. I like I like how they're fleshing out and showing more of these characters and treating them a little more rounded and fleshed out. That's another thing that I'm really enjoying about the show. How Fury and Talos centric it is. Very much out of their element. Way past their prime, and very much in over their heads is something that I'm really enjoying about it.
Yeah. Every time I watch it, I feel like I watch a Lethal Weapon.
Kind of.
We're not too old for this.
It does have that buddy vibe to it. Yeah, I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah, I definitely see that. I really enjoyed the part where Talos got serious. He's like, "Oh, you want to know why, like, they kicked me out and why, like, I'm not part of that group anymore?" He goes, "Because I chose you." I was like, "Damn!" Like, it kind of like if that didn't really show, like, Nick Fury, like. Yeah, you
who
do
your
have
real
friends,
are. Like, but he's your friend.
Any friends? Like,
and then, but your wife is over there with Ground.
Yeah, exactly. Where like Talos always had faith in you from day one. Always had faith in you. And your wife is just like, nah, you're gone for 5 years, so F off. Like she fell into that camp of like, you left us. And I get like of that feeling of, that's why I hear a lot of people are like, "Oh, Graphic's not a good bad guy. It's not realistic." I was like, that's the most realistic of being abandoned, and you were promised this life, and then you were used, and then you were abandoned. Like, yeah, you're gonna have a lot of people that are mad and filled with rage.
It wasn't even like for a little bit. It was for a long ass time. So it's 5 years he hit for the blip, and then he was going with another 8 years. So that's 13 years he was just gone.
Yeah. Was it another 8 years? I thought it was another 5 years. I don't remember.
I can't. I have to go back.
It's still a long time. It's still a long time.
Back and see how long he's been off Earth. I thought they said 8 years, but I cannot remember.
I don't remember. But yeah, I mean, just being gone for that long. So yeah, it's. I mean, and all the people that didn't get snapped away, you know, they had to live through all that. I mean, granted, you have some of them that were probably snapped away, but that's a long time. You know, a long time where you're just like, damn.
Yeah.
You know, it's. You know, I get being abandoned, you know, and stuff like that, especially with everything that Gravik's already been through, you know, before, you know, back in what, the 70s when it all kind of started on Earth.
It was like it was the early 90s.
Was it? Yeah, that's right, because it was after Captain
90s,
Marvel, so it was
yeah.
like 92,
93, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
He's like our age. Gravik is like our age.
Yeah, well, more or less, because they say time is different with them, so he's what, like ages slower or something like that.
Time is different for me and Brandon too. What you talking about?
We got Cleves in the house. What's up, Cleves? I wonder what Fury's been doing in space. Well, Saber. They kind of hinted at that before.
Yeah.
You know, at was it No Way Home?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something else.
Here's my question: does Nick Fury remember who Spider-Man is?
Ooh.
Because he wasn't on Earth, so everyone on Earth will forget. But because he wasn't on Earth, does he remember who Spider-Man really is?
Interesting.
Did he ever actually know who Spider-Man really was? Because he was.
Yeah,
that was Talos.
Before he left. No. So Talos didn't take over till after he left. After the blip.
Oh. No, but at the end of the Spider-Man movie, the one that Nick Fury, that's why he wound up falling for Jake Gyllenhaal's character, because that wasn't the real Nick Fury.
But that was the second movie. The first one, when Under Rules was back in the Civil War.
Civil War.
So like he would have known about. And then remember they were going to announce Spider-Man as someone who's a part of the Avengers.
But
you know.
But also even that could have been when Talos was not Nick Fury, because remember in Age of Ultron, he eats a sandwich cut diagonally, which he said he don't like that.
Yeah, well, but his wife said you left 5 years, left for the snap, and then you left voluntarily after that. She never said you left before then.
Yeah, that's true. You know, they could have been splitting it, which is what I think it was like he could be at two places at once because he can be because of that.
That's interesting. That's something I actually heard about this episode. That, you know what, there's not one Nick Fury in this episode, there's two.
What, Talos is the second one?
No, like, well, that one Gravik has a Nick Fury look-alike, because when he wears his glasses, he's one guy, and then when he's not wearing his glasses, he's the other. I don't know how much I believe in that, but I have to watch this episode again. But I did hear about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess he could steal the look, right? But just none of the memories.
Yeah, he doesn't have to need the memory because it doesn't matter because he wasn't around anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't need any memories.
That's true. I heard a lot of theories on that. Yep. Star-Lord should know him, right? Star-Lord should know who Spider-Man is.
Yep, he should.
Same thing. He's off. He was off Earth. That'd be interesting with the next Spider-Man movie. You know, you can have
how they're going to bring him back in to the fold.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man. I'm trying to think of so this is the big spoiler. So if you haven't seen this episode, you know, pause it and come back, because we're gonna talk about the big part that happens towards the end. So here it is. Gaia got shot, and the way she got shot was like, I did not expect. Like, he did not give a shit. Gravik did not care. She's like, no, you gotta stare me in the face. Before she was even done with the sentence, he's like, oh, you're dead. You know?
Yes, but did you notice the difference in Gaia? Because like when he came to question her the first time, and she was like, the other guy is the one that spilled the beach, not me.
Yeah.
But she wasn't scared of him. I think that's because she already had the super healing power.
Ooh.
She already had the super healing power then.
She used the thing.
Yep. So she was already a super Skrull. That's why she wasn't scared of him anymore. And that's the other reason why she was like, go ahead, shoot me. Show me what you do, what you're gonna do. And she wasn't scared because once again, she has super healing power. She's going to be able to heal. He'll be walk away, and then she'll be able to heal and go to her dad.
Yeah. I can see that. I mean, right now we only seen one Super Skrull power, which was the was it Artemis healing thing from Iron Man 3?
Yeah.
You know.
But we in the commercials, we also in the trailers, we also saw Gravik with that the Groot
With, like
arm.
the Groot arm. Yeah. We just haven't seen it yet.
But then I feel like we saw Gaia as she like became light and lifted up off the ground. So I feel like she's going to be a Super Skrull, and that's the whole thing. She's a Super Skrull. He's a Super Skrull. So
yeah, they're gonna duke it out. I can see that because then it makes sense. It's like because
there are two kids coming from the same area, but they're
exactly.
And once again another mirror image. Like you could be this way or you could have been this way.
Yeah,
and we chose two different paths.
Yeah, because that's like Nick Fury and Talos are from the old regime. You know, they do things a certain way and stuff like that. But now you got the new kids. You know, who are filled with anger and rage and betrayal and this and that. But one of them
went this way, and the other one went this way.
You know, but
one had parent, and the other one did not.
Yeah, exactly. You know, but also now she knows her mom's dead because of Gravik.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then like he kills her like that. You know, just say. I'm pretty sure she's still alive, like you said.
Yeah.
Because you don't hire Amelia Clark for 3 episodes.
Well, we see her in other things, part of other trailers. That's why I'm saying that she has to be alive.
Yeah. But just say if she is dead, can you imagine Talos? How angry he would be. You took everything from me. You took my wife. You took my daughter. I'm going to kill you. Like I don't care about World War III. I am going to kill you.
He's gonna be on the phone like Liam Neeson.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a particular set of skills. That makes me a nightmare for people like you. Yeah. I mean, if in a room full of people that they'll turn to Gravik, they didn't turn into like their scroll face. They turned to Gravik when he stabbed him, you know, or was going to choke him, and he still stabbed him in the head when he talked about his daughter. So he didn't give a fuck about nobody. It was like, you talk about my daughter, I don't care. Let's go down. Yeah. So like, if that's what it is, can you imagine that you find out you got shot? Oh boy,
you killed my daughter. Oh, he would lose it. That's why I was like, he's gonna lose. And I wonder if she's gonna let him believe it for a little bit. And I think he might start to lose it and then find out like she's not dead.
I think she drags herself. She's still, the healing power is not instant, and she's still learning how to deal with it. And she drags herself, and she's healing slowly. And she tells him what's happening, but he finds out that Gravik shot her, and that's going to change. This 4, 5, 6 is going to go downhill. It's going to be like going down a huge shallow, like you're skiing, and you can't stop, and it's going to fly.
Yeah, but I wonder if like that's also got to piss off Fury too, though. It means like Talos' family was pretty close to Fury. You know, you would assume. Like he said he was very sad with the wife dying, and can you imagine like, oh, now you mess with his daughter, like my like little niece, kind of, so to say.
I wouldn't be surprised if Nick Fury doesn't put the patch on to the total end of this whole thing.
Yeah, this
whole thing is what pushes him back into being Nick Fury. This is his journey back to who he was.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And then, but I'm telling you, he could be part Super Skrull and get some of the powers, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm Nick Fury. Now F for me. I was just a dude before. Now I got superpowers."
Yeah. So I don't know. Anything else that I might have forgot about? I was trying to hit the big points of the episode.
I mean, just his wife is just so much to me. That was huge to me, that the wife would go and she got the gun. Was she going to kill Nick Fury, or was she going to go kill herself? Was she going to shoot? Because she looked at him. She got the gun. And she looked at the dude like he needed to leave. So I don't know. I just saw that and I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I just assumed Nick Fury. I don't know. What you, Brandon?
She looked like she was looking back and forth, like she was being followed, and she didn't feel safe anymore.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Would make sense. Like the dude's always watching you.
That's a lot. Yeah. That's a lot of what this the foundation of what this show's built on. Just kind of who's who, who's watching me, who can I trust? Trust no one, which is pretty cool. You know, that's yeah. So I'd say that's what's really kind of maintaining my attention with this show.
It's a spy show. And then remember Nick Fury asked her, what were you doing since my absence? And she basically said, I went back to being a spy.
Mm-hmm.
So is she working?
Me.
Is she working for Gravik, or is she working being a spy for something else? And we find that out too. But Nick Fury already knows because he looked at her phone with his glasses on.
Oh, you think the glasses?
Yeah, I think he sees everything. It's like a see-through. He can see everything that's going on.
I wonder if it like he just got all the data off of it like really quick, like, and I got everything from it.
Like they're like a miniature glasses from Spider-Man, like from Tony Stark, you know, and you know he's able to get all the stuff from it, and he knows exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
And we start in 4, 5, and 6. We actually start seeing Nick Fury as being, you know, this master chess player who has been 3, 4, 5 moves ahead. You know, and that Maria Hill might not be dead because we saw all those people in stasis. She could have been a Skrull because we never saw the body.
Because Colby Smulders came out and said it on whatever social media or interview or whatever. She's like, yeah, that wasn't my decision, but you know, I still love the character, blah blah blah. But I'll still be the character in the cartoon. And I was like, well, what? I mean, she could be lying. She could be lying.
That's a super Marvel way to do it things though too. So
yeah. You know, but it really made it seem like she didn't like that. You know, which I don't blame her. Who wants to leave the MCU? You know, it's like I want to be in that shit as long as I can. You know,
give me the paycheck forever. Come on, man. I mean, she doesn't have to worry about paychecks. Come on.
I mean, she's gonna have.
She'll have a How I Met Your Mother paycheck every month on the first.
Yeah, exactly.
The first and 15th, she's good.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, I mean, it's made it seem like she's gone. So,
did we see a chink in the armor of Gravik because he doesn't trust anybody?
That he's so paranoid.
He's so paranoid that he will lose all the people that are around him that he trusts.
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
Yeah, and that's going to be his undoings. That everyone that was in this circle that he trusted leaves him, and you know they do what's best for the Skrulls, and they just kind of other Skrulls, and they let him be left to die.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we gave you power, because we're going to go ahead and let you die. You know, we're going to sacrifice you. Well, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, we're sacrificing you.
Yeah. I can see though. I guess like he's the opposite of Nick Fury, where Nick Fury is like, listen, I did all the lying and espionage and spying, but I never made my friends enemies, more or less, you know, less. You know, where Gravik is just like I don't trust anybody now. Like ever. You read on me? Yeah. So, you know, I mean, and it's like you can't lead that way. When you can't trust anybody, you can't lead. So
you can't have a team.
Yeah, you can't have a team. You can't trust people with secrets. So you're done. You're done right off the bat. You're done. That is interesting.
That's also interesting because the name of this episode was Betrayed, and everybody in the episode got betrayed. Right? Every single person in the episode got betrayed. It was crazy.
Yeah. I always forget to look at titles. You know, I was like, oh yeah, whatever. It's the title of the episode, but you know.
It's like Gravik got betrayed by Gaia. You know, I mean, just everywhere you look, someone got betrayed. The British MI6 lady was betrayed by somebody. Like it's awesome.
Yeah. Well, even Olivia Colman was like betrayed by Nick Fury because she found the little little eye
the eye thing on the owl. Yeah. And then she put the eye patch on him.
That was hilarious. It's like she's not even mad. She's like, oh, okay. You know, I expect it. Yeah. But yeah, and then Horgy said, oh yeah, she's on that Moon Girl cartoon.
Yeah.
So she voices Maria Hill on the cartoon. So.
Oh yeah, I was kind of wondering because it was slipping my mind, you know, what she was voicing.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen many episodes of that Moon Girl stuff, but
I have.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's right up your alley.
Devil, Dinosaur, and Moon Girl. Come on, man.
Yeah,
It's on Disney Plus. You gotta check it out. And I got the comic books. It's pretty cool too.
yeah, she's a cool character. Devil's Dinosaur. But I don't. Anything else that I left off that you guys think of?
No, I mean that's pretty much all the little stuff. I mean, I'm sure there are other Easter eggs that we just haven't, seen. But I thought that was the gist for this movie. I mean, this show, and this one, it was a good one. It had a lot of hitting meanings in it.
Yeah. I'm liking this. Like Brandon, I think you said earlier, each episode's getting better. It started off kind of okay. Second, I like this one. I really like, and I think it's gonna get kicked up a notch for the second half of this series.
Same. I think they're really doing good, emphasizing the severity of this global threat, but at the same time, it just feels more. I appreciate that it feels, despite the scope, it feels a little smaller and more just kind of centered and just very much in its own corner. That's my favorite thing about it. We're so used to Marvel stuff, like laying Easter eggs, like, hey, there's this character, or hey, there's this character, or hey, this is what we're building up to, or hey, Kang's coming soon, or so it's really nice to see something that's a little more, like you said, kind of isolated, and kind of closed off. Just, just focused on telling this particular story in its own corner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like it. But I like it also, like it's telling its story, but it's gonna lead into the bigger stuff later. But because like obviously he's gonna be back to the old Nick Fury by the time it's over, because Marvel's is coming out, and you need to have the Nick Fury you last saw on the big screen. So
I like that it's very focused on like the now, if that makes sense. Like just to draw a comparison, like Quantumania wasn't really focused on being an Ant-Man story so much as it was just focused on being like one big trailer for Kang.
Yeah.
So I like that they're focusing on this particular story above all.
Yeah. Which I like.
Don't you think this story is really about human beings on Earth and all the stuff that they had to deal with, and all the things we saw with the Avengers and all this other stuff, all the things they had to kind of rationalize and deal with, and why left all these countries, afraid with less power because they has all these superhuman people that are able to do these things, and now they've done other things like the fact that you had two keys turning something that means it's a nuclear missile, stuff like that. So I mean, like we have enough stuff at our arsenal to destroy ourselves, and it's like you're seeing what the possibilities are from the human race because of all the consequences from everything else, from all the movies that we've seen. And it's like in our world, what we will have to deal with, where we have idiots in control of with their hand on the button.
Yeah. That is interesting to look at it, because like Graphic flat out tells you is like, yeah, human beings don't care about each other. Why would they care about us or anything else? So it's like, let's get rid of them and start over. Like, damn, but that's a little crazy.
Hey, what'd you think about the dog thing that Taylor said? It's like, why do you guys understand? I don't understand the relationship between humans and dogs. Say Nick feels like his man best friend. I mean, this is what he is. And he was like, so you have that type of relationship, and then you pick up the poop from the dog? Like, I don't understand. You're a master, he's the servant, and you pick up his poop. That's, I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But it shows that you can live on Earth with another species and enjoy them. And I think that's where it was getting to. That these two species can still coexist at the same time.
Yeah.
Huh. Didn't stop to think about that. Yeah.
I think that I think it's an overall theory or overall thing that we're getting for this show. These two things can coexist. These two species can coexist.
Yeah. Well, also, who was it? I think because Gravik made it seem like, oh yeah, I'll just say a few things, push a few buttons, kill a few people, and they'll do the rest of the work. But and then Talos was telling
Like,
that, it was like,
You're
he's like,
wrong.
you're wrong, because humans are the best when they're being threatened, when they have their back to the wall, kind of thing.
When you have
know?
one clear problem.
One enemy.
Like, didn't you watch Independence Day?
They didn't get that in the MCU.
You cannot give them one villain. We'll all become heroes, and we'll follow Will Smith to victory.
You can slap everybody.
Exactly. Just go around slap everybody.
Slap all the damage. Well, that's what he was doing. He was just testing out to see if Chris Rock was a Skrull.
Exactly.
That's what he was doing. But yeah, I think it's a good episode, man. It does a lot of like looking at yourself, as a human race kind of thing, and I don't know. I'm really enjoying it. It's not high action, but did you guys expect high action from this show?
No.
Super spy. This is a spy series. This was secret invasion. But they didn't say there's going to be lethal explosion. Like it said, secret invasion, like sneaking around. Like what?
I always assumed that this was going to be something, just kind of less action oriented, spy, like Brian said, spy espionage, kind of political thriller vibe to it. Very nice.
So I've been reading these, and besides the whole thing, everything being with all the superheroes, it's very much a secret. There is not a lot of just people dying all over the place. It's not like a lot of fighting. It's a secret, So that's what I'm saying. That's why exactly what I thought.
Yeah. It pretty much delivers what I expected.
Yeah. So, and not everything needs to be James was that Michael Bay explosions and this and that, and like a good spy thriller kind of thing, and trying to figure out who's on what side and who's the bad guy, who's the good guy, like who's really working for who kind of thing. So I'm digging it. I'm liking it. So and I'm super excited to see the end of it all. You're really curious. So I'm just glad we got Super Skrulls. I did not see that coming, because I'm like, how are they going to do it? It makes no sense.
Yeah,
and they did it well.
I was
at the beginning
to see how they.
Yeah,
it is so fast. That was awesome.
Yeah, they did not waste any time. But
what do you think we get for episode 4, real quick?
Oh yeah. There you go. Let Brandon go first.
Obviously more in depth. Yeah, obviously more in depth with Rhodey or whoever the Skrull is, masquerading as Rhodey. How instrumental he is in all this, in terms of how he fits in the Gravik's ultimate plan. I think that that's like I said last week and the week before, I'm not really sure what to expect with this show, and I don't even feel comfortable speculating. So I'm very much taking baby steps when it comes to my answers for that, because that's all I can take. So beyond Rhodey and what part he plays, probably more of the conception of the Super Skrulls, probably more of the intricacies of that plan, potentially being further set in motion. I think that there's probably going to be a little bit of a pissing contest and a power struggle, and maybe even more tension between Fury and Talos potentially.
Yeah, really.
I could see that. For at least one more episode. We're coming up on episode 4 of 6. Really, just how deep this rabbit hole goes with the Skrull infiltration, what their master plan is. I think that's what the show's been kind of doing anyway. Each episode.
Okay.
Yeah. I can see Talos and Nick Fury getting a little bit more. 'cause I think the worst is done. I think they're gonna still stick around together, but I can see them bickering some more before they realize they're like, okay, we are best friends and we're almost like brothers at this point. So yeah, you're gonna have that. It needs to come to that realization. And it's gonna come probably episode 5, I think. Where they realize they're like, oh yeah, we are on the same side. We need to stop this silly, like I'm better than you, or you do this because of me, or I did that because of you, kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I see Gravik really starting to lose the grip a little bit more. That's what I really start seeing, and him killing her is gonna start that slope. He's gonna start like, oh, I'm gonna kill you too because I can't trust you. And it was like, what are you gonna do when, you have this the council or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
It's like those are people that are on camera that are seen all the time. You can't just kill one of those people because you don't trust them. So
he did already.
Who?
Didn't he shoot somebody at the meeting?
Oh yeah, he did. yeah, like
he was talking too much stuff. I feel like he shot him in the head.
Yeah, he did. He killed somebody. So it's gonna be interesting. I don't know. Do you just replace him with something? I don't know, but Gravik's gonna fall off the deep end, and I think that's gonna be how he ultimately ends up. Losing everything is too big for his britches, kind of thing. That's like the old men are gonna come in like, see, kiddo, like it's not as easy as you thought it was. That's what I see happening. With Nick Fury and Talos coming back, but yeah, that's what I think.
Okay, I think Emilia Clarke. Find out about her being a Super Skrull. I feel like she gets to her dad Talos. I think Talos and Nick Fury put away their stuff once they see her being damaged or being hurt, and they put it away. And it's something that Talos said when he said, the whole thing about I stayed with you, I chose you. I think that really is going to resonate with Nick Fury, and now he's going to see his daughter. And he's like, you chose me, now I choose you. And they're going to be working. They're going to be on the same page from now on. I think Gravik will be starting to have chinks in his armor because he's still a child when you're dealing with a grown up who's dealing with this many years. These old grown people be dealing with all these years and not making those big mistakes that you're making. And he's going to make one mistake too much. He's also going to probably put all those powers in him. He's going to have all. Because I don't trust anybody else. Put it all in me. So it's going to be for the Gravik that at the beginning he was saying, remember the cause, and then it's going to be more now towards the end. Gravik's going to be like, it's all about me. The cause is me. Instead of what he said at the beginning, the cause is the cause. I'm just a vessel. Now it's about the cause is me. After everything else.
Yeah, and because whatever I want it, whatever I say is the cause.
And that's what's going to lose all his people, and people are going to turn on him, and that's where we're going to end up getting. But I think that's what's going to happen in this next episode, and and I think we're going to see more Rhodey.
Yeah, we gotta get that. Gotta get that. But cool. Yeah, we'll leave that right there, and get ready for the next.
What if Nick Fury's wife kills the Skrull Rhodey?
She's so up in the air. I don't know what she's gonna do, man. I don't know what she's doing. She's the wild card. He called her.
He said, "You need to come to me." She has the gun. She shoots him and kills him, and she chooses Nick Fury too.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think that's what it is.
That would be cool.
I'd be interested, but she's the wild card for me. She can go either way, and I would not be surprised. But all right, now we're for sure leaving that one there, and we're gonna move on to our next topic. But before we do, we just want to say thank you to everyone in chat. Cleese, Bigger Ford, or Geek. Thank you guys for coming in, hanging out with us for this one. Like I said, a lot of people aren't watching this show. I hope it starts changing and the hype gets a little bit more bigger and like, oh, hey, it's really good. You're getting things. I think we all like it from the sounds of it. So, but we want to hear from you guys. We want to know what you think about Secret Invasion. Do you hate it? Do you like it? Is it boring? Are you just over Disney Plus MCU shows? But leave a comment. Let us know what you think. And also hit that subscribe button. We're 30 people away from 1,000.
Yes.
So, you know, once we get to 1,000, we're gonna have a nice big giveaway and we're gonna have a big event. It's gonna be a fun like show that we do. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and join us live every Monday and Thursday. And you too could be part of the show. But thank you guys. Appreciate all you guys. We will see you guys in the next episode. If you're watching live, stick around. We are gonna move on to our next topic.